Audre Lorde's got this quote. She calls poetry the quality of light by which we scrutinize our lives. And that has been like a beacon for me as a writer to kind of see poetry and poetics itself as not a container, but the lens, the scope. And I know that you've talked a little bit about this before, you know, poetics being the living and not just the work on the page. What is the responsibility of the poet off the page?
Well, first I would raise the question of whether we are ever off of the page. We are writing through our choices, through our small acts, through our dialogue, through, you know, the things we pledge allegiance to, the things we associate with, and the things we are critical of. I think of that statement Nina Simone said, an artist should reflect the times in which they're living. I add to that it is not merely our job to reflect, right? All of us are something / something else.
Yep.
Right? Whether we are poet organizers, poet teachers, you know, poet musicians, we are balancing acts. And I think it's crucial that we instigate that balance by realizing that we have to let our visions and our activities bleed into each other.
Yeah, that'll preach. That's good. I'm curious, selfishly, on both the artistic side and on the personal side, if those connections are coming up in your work or if they're coming up in the way that you're moving in the creative spaces. And I'm nosy and I'm curious about how the connection points are impacting you in the now.
Well, you know, I think I would really have to struggle to find how all of these things are not connected.
You know?
I spent 10 years working around the last film that my partner Anisia and I did, Neptune Frost, where, you know, we were essentially breaking down what was happening in the Congo. I started making those connections, first of all, between the so-called technological, digital progress of society and how it was so heavily based on a very analog form of exploitation. I don't know if it was the first time I met Kanye, but he was about to put out the Diamonds Are Forever.
Yep.
And I just had a conversation with him and Hype Williams, actually, at the time, talking about Sierra Leone, which in turn led to that song being called Diamonds Are From Sierra Leone, making a video that traced the diamond. It didn't change anything other than the title of a song. It didn't lessen these niggas' affinity to blatant.
You know, the chains was still popping.
But I think it's important to carry the lessons that we learn into personal conversations, at least, right? I mean, I took this interview because I appreciate you. But in these moments, I'm so tired of my voice. Like, I hate hearing myself speak nowadays. And, like, I'm reflecting on what's being said. I'm like, oh, you're full of shit. You're full of shit.
No, am I allowed to disagree with the person I'm interviewing? I think poems are alchemic, and I think the dialogue is alchemic too. Like the way that we talk to one another, the things that come up that materialize because we're in a room chewing through something that we don't quite have language for yet. I think there are things here that may not be useful exactly now, but I think absolutely keep talking.
The goal is to make work that reads forever. That's what that poem is about.
I can't think of a more brilliant way to land. That was glorious. Thank you so much for your time, for your genius, for your labor. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and it's a pleasure to talk to you.